Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be telling you guys about the government shutdown in US. Well, before I get into the needy, greedy stuff, can we just talk about how we got so close to a US government shutdown during October 1st? I mean, seriously, it's like every few years we're on the brink of chaos because of the government shutdown. But what is the government shutdown, you may ask? Well, let me break it down for you. A government shutdown is basically when your parents cut your allowance because they both cannot agree how to spend that money. In this case, the government couldn't agree on a budget, so they just stopped funding certain services and employees temporarily, and this actually affects almost everything from national parks to federal workers to the economy. Okay, now that we're done with the recap, let's get to the real point. Point 1. Last minute bill changes and chaos. Imagine this, a very important bill was about to come up and the House of the Representatives and the Senate has already given a thumbs up, but just before the buzzer, just before the deadline arrives, they made a bunch of changes. So this caused a total confusion. And here's the kicker. The Republicans actually agreed to everything the Democrats want just before the bill has reached its deadline. And of course, the Democrats couldn't believe this, so they decided to just set off a fire alarm. Not they decided, but one of them decided to be a hero. Set off the fire alarm to give them more time to read through every single thing. They realized eventually that what they say is true and they have agreed to almost everything they wanted, except for the Ukraine fundings. And of course, this bill is the bill that has gave them permission to indirectly use money, but more like printing money. Anyways, this bill was very urgent because if they didn't hand this bill in time, then the government would shut down and there wouldn't be money for them to use. They would be shutting down because they have no more money to use. So I have to, print money. And now to the second point, which is Republican division and McCarthy's removal. Now let's talk about the Republicans. So the Republicans were actually foaming at their leader, Kevin McCarthy, because Kevin McCarthy have decided to agree with what the Democrats want. And yes, he was the one who filed the bill. He was the one who decided to go according to what the Democrats want, except for the Ukraine funding part. He was the one. So the Republicans was obviously really angry. They were like, how dare you? It's like you backstabbed us. But yeah, he did it anyways. So they wanted him to be out of the government system. And guess what? Even though he said, well, you want some of this? Come get some. He's actually out now. Yeah, he actually got kicked out. And this is actually a big deal because he's the speaker. And just to give you a context of how big the speaker's position is in the country is if Joe Biden died, it would be Kamala. There's the acting president, right? Who will be the next acting president if Kamala dies? If it just so happens that Joe Biden and Kamala dies, it would be the speaker, this Kevin McCarthy. So it is a massive deal that this guy is somehow out. And now to my third point, which is uncertain future for government funding. And here's a scoop for you. By November 17th, the government will run out of money. And after that, it's anyone's guess what will happen. And by then, you can definitely expect no more increase in border security and definitely not a load ton of extra money for Ukraine. And now to my fourth point, which is President Biden's perspective. Well, Joe Biden, the man himself, thinks that this bill that was just filed is great because he's a Democrat. But of course, not everybody agrees. Well, I guess to know what happened next, you gotta stay tuned and keep watching the news. So yeah, stay tuned to my videos. I'll tell you whatever happens. If anything happens, example, maybe the US government is actually gonna run out of money. Example, what happens after November 17th. So yeah, subscribe to my channel. And now on to our conclusion. Well, it has been a complete roller coaster for a while throughout this time period, and it will probably kind of repeat itself by November 17th because it's going to decide whether it's shut down or not by then as well, or to print even more money. So yeah, a government shutdown is kind of like an annoying family argument that happens every few years, but eventually they'll sort it out. So to know how they do that eventually, keep watching, stay curious, do your own research. Anyways, this would be it for today's video. If you learned something and you're happy with this video, please like and subscribe. I hope you do enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.